Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Good Wednesday afternoon. Feels like Tuesday, but it is Wednesday, Wild and Wacky Wednesday, in fact. And this is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yow. He's Maurice Patton. And, you know, Mo.
I saw what you did there.
Sorry. I couldn't, you know, just a little bit. It's all good. It's all good.
Smart ass.
It's better than being a dumb one, or at least that's what I say.
Yeah.
At least you can see us today, Mo.
And it's good to be seen.
Sometimes.
It's better to be seen than viewed, I hear. So yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, boy, what an exciting show we have today. It is Wednesday, and typically we would talk NASCAR with Heather Williams, and I would tell you where she is, but she tweeted out pictures and said, "Where is Heather?" And I don't want to spoil the game.
So she's doing a "Where in the World is
I guess
Heather
so.
Williams," huh?
So I guess we will.
Do you know where she is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew the skyline, so I was like, well, I don't want to spoil the game if people have
Yeah,
answers.
if they're actually playing. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
and watching us, however much crossover there is, who knows? But typically we talk to her about NASCAR, but unfortunately she is unavailable. That means that we have to go to our backup guy.
And as backups go,
Our backup guy.
I'm not terribly disappointed. I mean, we love Heather, but
doubt.
we think you'll like our backup guy.
Our backup guy is coming up, and that is Bernard Pollard, former Tennessee Titan and NFL great, but has recently gotten into NASCAR. And
He's a
iRacing.
gearhead.
And so we'll talk to him about all of the mess that happened in Charlotte this week.
And there was a mess.
And it was a mess. No question there.
Who'd have thunk
God,
of all of the options for somebody to get suspended at some point this season?
yeah, he talk about low on the totem pole.
Mhm.
He was way down on the list, but
Yeah.
we'll get into it a little bit later with Bernard. We've also got MAREN Angus, who will talk a little women's college.
MAREN Angus Coombs.
That's right. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry, Mr. Coombs.
Maybe he's Mr. Angus. I don't know. I mean, we've met MAREN, so
There we go.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Yeah.
We are excited to talk a little Women's College World Series. So we'll do that as well. And we've also got some great top stories. Two things here in Tennessee that are pretty major news. And
Yeah.
we'll also talk about the Braves and some other baseball stuff. Anyway,
Other baseball stuff.
as much other
We're
baseball
going to
stuff as
focus
we can
on other
find
baseball stuff. Yeah.
today. But all of that and much, much more coming your way here in just a moment. But before we do anything else, we have to give you yesterday's results and today's schedule. It's not much, but it is what it is. And this
Here
is
comes
the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Major League Baseball action from Tuesday. The Chicago Cubs temporarily derailed the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1. It was St. Louis with a 2-1 win over their cross-state rival, the Kansas City Royals. Cincinnati with a 9-8 win over Boston. The Blue Jays with a 7-2 win over Milwaukee. Astros defeated the Twins 5-1. And also an outcome of local interest, if I can find it. The Padres with a 9-4 win over host Minnesota, and that was a game that Loretto's Ryan Weathers started, went 4 innings, gave up 3 earned runs on 7 hits, struck out 4, did not figure into the decision, but the Padres won that one again 9-4. And out on the West Coast, the Oakland Athletics wrapped up a series win over Atlanta with a 2-1 victory. They play game 3 here in about a half hour, or game 3 starts in about a half hour. Maybe the Braves will play, maybe they won't. Minor League Baseball, Charlotte defeated the Sounds 4-2 yesterday. Sounds came back with a 10:05 Central Time start and got a 4-0 win this morning. And it was probably this morning because I think they were done by noon.
Well, noon here.
Yeah.
Noon in Charlotte.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
Noon for those guys.
Yeah, breakfast with the Sounds today. WNBA action from last night. The Atlanta Dream with an 83-65 win over the Chicago Sky. The Connecticut Sun 81. The Indiana Fever 78. Dallas Wings with a 94-89 win over the Minnesota Lynx, and the New York Liberty 86, the Seattle Storm 78.
Today's schedule, as Mo just told you, the Braves and Athletics will conclude their 3-game set at 2:37 p.m. Not 2:36 and
not 2:38. No,
it will be 2:37 on the dot, as well as the Brewers at the Blue Jays at 6:07. What the heck is up with this? It's so weird. The Reds are at Fenway for their set with the Red Sox at 6:10 tonight. The Royals are at the Cardinals at 6:45. Sorry, Anonymous Ferret was covering who the Royals were playing. It's just an Anonymous Ferret. I don't know.
Oh, my bad.
6:45 p.m. Twins are at the Astros at 7:10 tonight. Women's College World Series action tomorrow morning. Speaking of breakfast, it'll be breakfast with the Vols and Tide, as Tennessee and Alabama will kick things off in the Women's College World Series with 11 a.m. first pitch on ESPN, followed by Stanford and Oklahoma at 1:30, scheduled for 1:30. We'll see how that plays out. It will also be on ESPN. And that, folks, is your rundown. Man, it's weird having all this time to talk about stuff, Mo.
In the first segment?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you better get used to it.
Oh, there's no question. And it happens every year. Every time
right about this time. Yep.
That rundown gets awfully
thin.
And we will do our best to keep you guys up to date with other local events that are happening. I know we'll have a post-19 schedule. We'll effort to get probably Gallatin's schedule at least.
I don't know that there is a Gallatin.
There's not a Gallatin anymore?
I don't believe there's a Gallatin this year.
Oh. Well, okay then.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
Will be hard to get a Gallatin schedule then.
Yeah, we will try to keep you up as we know of summer baseball and 7-on-7 and that kind of stuff. So.
But otherwise, if you are interested in what's going on in and around professional sports, we'll give you that schedule as well. And sometimes it's just easier just to watch our rundown than it is to try to go find the schedule yourself. We've done the work for you.
We try to be helpful. useful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Today's top story, Mo, we will go to downtown Nashville, where Vanderbilt announced today some brand new renovations that they are planning for Hawkins Field, affectionately known as the Hawk.
The Hawk.
As I looked at a lot of these, well, a lot of these renderings and things of that nature, I am just incredibly impressed by what Vanderbilt has put forth in their efforts to increase their facilities and improve not just baseball, but football and basketball. It's really impressive. And this baseball stadium that we're looking at, Mo, just is phenomenal.
Well, I mean, this architect's rendering, I guess, we've talked about how landlocked Vanderbilt University is as a campus, and that athletic area in particular, with First Bank Stadium, with Memorial Gym, and with the Hawk, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room, literally. And so they're having to be really creative to try to increase, seating capacity at the Hawk, and in light of everything else that they've got right there in that area. And again, looking at this artist rendition or architect's rendering, if you go to vucommodores.com, they have been exactly that. They are very creative with what they've done out in right field, and with the home run deck in left, adjacent to, alongside Memorial Gym, and the way they're going down the third baseline, and looks like they're kind of double decking some stuff down the first baseline, and it's
also 360. So it'll be a 360 view, just like at First Horizon Park and all of the new the new baseball parks that you're seeing in minor leagues. There's you can walk the entire concourse and not
lose sight.
You can see the field, which is really cool. Now
it looks like they are closing just Neely Drive.
Okay.
Because again, if you look at this picture going down the right field line and across the Frist Athletics Village to the tennis courts, the Frist Athletics Village is just Neely Drive.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's currently a
street, and a pretty significant one on that campus.
Park and walk.
Yep. Get you a Segway.
And honestly, I do find this interesting, because when I look at the right field line and down that first base line, boy, it gets tight down there about 3/4 of the way to the fence. And I think that's okay though, because one, how many times do you make plays in foul ground in that particular area? But two, it really does give the uniqueness factor. And I think baseball, that's one thing that I love about baseball stadiums, is that every one of them is different.
Every one of them. And those little nuances of each field are what make each field unique, I think is the word you just used. And I don't mean to be redundant, but I like that as well. And we went through kind of the cookie cutter mode of major league ballparks in the 70s and 80s, I guess, where most of them you couldn't really tell where you were from one to the next. This is kind of cool that, you've got those little differences from one field to the next at the collegiate level. So
I'm a fan of this. And like I said, I'm just really excited, because I think that Vanderbilt is showing a lot of initiative in their athletics program.
And as much as anything, I think Vanderbilt fans need to see that.
Oh, absolutely. Most of them have been very vocal about the lack of
Initiative.
support for the athletic programs from at least from parts of the administration. But it appears that the administration at Vanderbilt right now is on the same page when it comes to athletics.
And I tell you, I think having a former Vanderbilt athlete at the top of that department doesn't hurt.
Here's the checklist of things that this will include from VU Commodores on Twitter. Second grandstand level, multiple innovative club spaces, so like the home run deck, and apparently there will be multiple.
And behind the plate seating, apparently.
Multiple private suite opportunities, which is huge. 360-degree stadium experience, which we mentioned. Hawkins Field entry atrium.
An instantly Instagrammable spot for all Vandy Boys fans. A new entry atrium beyond right field offers a place to meet before climbing the stairs to soak in the unforgettable view of the field. Yeah.
I like entry atrium. That just rolls off
Mm-hmm.
the tongue.
And instantly Instagrammable.
Instantly Instagrammable. I'm a fan of that.
They're playing to this new wave of spectators / fans.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
it's
everybody's taking selfies and that kind of thing and posting them to their social media platforms. So yeah, why not? If you can play to that, why not?
And they also have a multi-purpose building.
A new 20,000 square foot building beyond right field provides space for enhancing both the fan and the student athlete experience. So
it's going to be fantastic. Now, here's the question, Mo,
mhm.
because I don't want to just sunshine pump because it's still Vanderbilt. And we just talked about how there's been issues in the past. How quickly does this get built?
That's a good question. And I'm not seeing any time references.
Which, I mean, it's great to announce.
That's got to be the big question.
When? Start moving?
Or when does it finish? And I guess it's TBA.
Not to be confused with Thompson Bowling Arena.
Which is where we're going here in a second, I guess, or now if you're done.
Absolutely. That was my question.
Huh?
I didn't see any dates.
I see no dates. I see no time references.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And speaking of Thompson Bowling Arena, big news for Tennessee basketball fans. Jordan Josiah James, or JoJo James, or JJJ, whatever.
Triple J. Yeah.
He's got a lot of nicknames. Whatever it is, whatever you call him, you'll be calling him that.
Call him a Vol.
You can call him a Vol at least one more year, as he's announced he'll stick around with the basketball program. And this is a huge, huge get for Rick Barnes. The problem is that scholarship limits have been hit with all of the transfers coming in. How does he make it work?
I don't know how he makes it work, but I guarantee he does.
Oh, there's no question he's gonna. But is this an NIL extra scholarship kind of deal where he comes in as a walk-on? I mean, which I guess could happen. But I'll be interested. I just think it's a huge deal for Tennessee because obviously Jordan Josiah James gives them another massive guard option. And with the guards that they have coming into this program this year, oh my goodness.
Gives them a lot of flexibility. I'm reading from Saturday Down South, Ethan Stone, about an hour ago. Josiah Jordan James is coming back for a fifth and final year at Tennessee. He announced via Twitter Wednesday afternoon. This comes as a bit of a shock, but a welcome one for Tennessee fans. The Vols have been right at the scholarship limit of 13 for some time now, following the transfer addition of Dalton Neck from Northern Colorado earlier this offseason. James's return means one of three things for Tennessee. One, he, a fringe NBA prospect, is returning as a walk-on. Two, another player will move to walk-on status, if you will. Or three, a scholarship player will have to exit the program prior to the start of next season. All signs point to option number one being the case in this instance, though that is not confirmed as of May 31st.
There you go.
So that's where we're at this moment. Vols are set to return two strong fifth-year veterans in James and all SEC guard Santiago Vescovi for 23-24. Ziegler, Meshack, Adu, and Awaka will be back for the Vols as well. Plenty of new faces will compete for minutes as well, including Necht, Harvard transfer Chris Ledlam, and USC Upstate transfer Jordan Gainey, who could be a potential walk-on candidate, according to Ethan Stone of Saturday Down South. It's not even mentioned in the top 20 incoming freshman class, featuring a pair of 4-stars and previously reclassified class of 22 guard Freddie DeLeon to potentially back up Ziegler at point guard. All that to say, Tennessee basketball will be absolutely loaded next season.
No excuse.
Let's see what Rick Barnes and company can do with all that firepower.
No excuse.
Still, you got concerns in the paint.
Yeah, but and the way that he coaches, it certainly ain't 5 guards. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
You got concerns in the paint. I mean, you need a rim protector, and none of the names that were called just then would jump out at you as that. Maybe Adu.
Yeah, maybe Adu.
Maybe Awaka. No,
not Meshack. I mean Awaka. That's what I mean.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, they both need a few more rocks in their pocket to really be able to stand up down there.
It's going to be interesting to watch. We'll talk more about it for sure between now and November. But right now we're going to take a break because Bernard Pollard is standing by, and we will talk a little NASCAR when we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow, Mo Patton here in the Lee Company studio. Glad to have you guys with us here on this Wild and Wacky Wednesday. The weirdest and wildest news from across the world still to come. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll react to that and much, much more. We've got a lot to talk about. Of course, Women's College World Series still coming up with MAREN, ANGUS, Combs, and more. But now we go to the Real Property Solutions Hotline, Mo, with our backup NASCAR guy, Bernard Pollard.
At Crush Boy 31 on Twitter, former Tennessee Titans defensive back and current NASCAR analyst, Bernard Pollard, joining us here.
Mo, you giving me titles, man. I'm not an analyst because I definitely don't know a lot of the stuff that they talking about. But Chris, you confirm you're going to be the one I fight first when you say I'm the backup, bro.
It is what it is, man. Look, and as far as backups go, we could have done much worse.
Bro, I'm fighting you on site. Mo, I was gonna fight you, but I'm definitely getting Chris.
And we give you the analyst title, Bernard, because of the three of us currently on this show, you know the most.
Yes. And it's not close, probably.
And it ain't, second ain't close. So yeah. And before we really dive into NASCAR, Bernard, we as we've done this show, we really have developed an appreciation for folks as backdrops.
Right.
And that's solid.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's some good stuff back there. A lot of game balls. I'm not sure what the Archer is up there, but
yeah, man,
sure
that's Southside, baby. That's my high school. So I was I'm inducted into the Hall of Fame, Indiana High School Hall of Fame. I'm inducted into our my high school. My jersey was retired. So yeah, man, that's who we be. Southside pride, baby.
Okay.
I thought he might have been involved in a Bo Jackson archery contest these days. You know, Bo's all about it. So I was just curious.
Yeah,
maybe you won some kind of prize in that. But no, that's even cooler.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nothing like Bo, but yeah, I'm definitely I guess I was up there a little bit.
That's awesome. Bernard, I'm not sure what the bigger news is out of this weekend's NASCAR, that Ryan Blaney got the win over at Charlotte, or that Chase Elliott's going to sit for a little bit.
Yeah.
In the aftermath. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, Mo. I mean, for me, watching this sport the last 3 years, it's been truly a blessing. And let me say, the fans are phenomenal. Like, building the relationships with so many people. The drivers they're great. But seeing Blaney pull down a victory in Charlotte, it took long enough. The weather and everything, obviously we don't control that. So thank God, for the let up. But to see Blaney pull down the win was awesome. For me, I was doing a lot. So to the Chase Elliott situation, I was on Twitter, and I'm going back with Freddie Kraft and so many other dudes talking with men and women about this incident, man. And I thought, it was a bounce off the wall, and potentially, he got into Denny by accident, and I thought it was an accident. I'm still green with a lot of this, but a lot of the fans looking like, yo, Bernard, and we had a guy come. He showed me a chart, and that's the phenomenal thing, Mo. When you talk about this sport, it's the tech, just the teamwork, all of the stuff. When you have problems like this, where you have situations that arise, right? We know that these men and women are their eyes, their hands, their feet. They know how to drive this car. They need, obviously, the car and the team to be able to help them to do what they do on the track. Now, I was shown a graph, and this chart showed me how it was a drastic turn with Chase turning his car left into Denny Hamlin. And that right there, I gained more appreciation for the sport and for the tech behind the sport. And for so many people that have never watched the sport, that don't want to give it a chance, man, this sport is phenomenal, because this showed a lot of people that these dudes and these women, they're professionals. They know how to control these cars off a wall, going into, a 3 wide, whatever it may be. And I was just like, dang, they got my dog. And Chase Elliott is a phenomenal driver. He is, his following is tremendous, but he was in the wrong. So, I think that's going to be bigger news than Blaney winning. It sucks that we say that, that's overshadowing. And I shouldn't say that it's going to overshadow his victory, but this is big news for him.
Blaney snapped a 59 race.
It was a long one.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. Blaney's not seen victory lane in a while.
But I friend of the show, Ryan McGee, tweeted something out in the aftermath of the announcement of Chase Elliott's sanctioning, and said that, the one thing that you don't do is hook somebody in the right rear.
Yeah.
That's rule number one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In NASCAR. And it's going to get you. I mean, Bubba did it last year and he got suspended for a race. Chase did it. He got suspended for a race. And I think that's a huge thing for NASCAR. We've talked about how inconsistent NASCAR is with their penalties. That was huge for them. I think it showed that they are really serious about this particular type of incident. I did think it was a little funny, I'm not going to lie, because it was mentioned last week, Mo, how we talked about how it didn't matter if Brad Keselowski was on the back stretch and the wreck happened on the front stretch, it was Brad's fault. Well, Brad was involved in this. I mean, the right front of his car clipped the left front of Chase, the left rear of Chase's as he was turning into Denny. So I was like, how are they going to blame this on Brad? Because for a long time it was Brad. Now it's Ross. And had it been Ross Chastain, it probably would have been Ross's fault on Twitter.
You mean had it been points leader?
Yes,
Ross Chastain. Right?
This is a massive deal. And I love that you mentioned that, Bernard, because the graphs, and we're big baseball fans, Mo, and so they keep track of everything.
Right.
Same thing in NASCAR. It's so cool, and I love to see it. And that's what I think, it was really important for NASCAR to show that they were consistent and serious about this rule, even with as you mentioned, NASCAR's most popular driver.
Yes.
However many times in a row, umpteen. So how important was that for you to see the consistency from them?
Well, I think that's big, and I that's where a lot of people have questioned the inconsistencies with NASCAR. And once again, I'm 3 years in. I don't really understand a lot of what's been going on, and so I learned so much from the fans who have been just ride or die with their driver if they switch, but for years. And so I get schooled not only from the drivers and the people that are a part of their teams. I get schooled from the fans. And it's always great to hear from the fans' perspective, because they know and understand. They may not be able to get into that car and be able to, do the things that these drivers are doing. But, for us, I'm able to get into my rig that's over here in my office and I can go in. But, if I hook somebody, if I do, whatever, I can just press the reset button. These drivers, that's a safety issue for them. So I think, when NASCAR stepped up and did what they did, and Bubba did it, some races back this year, and he was penalized for it, and they followed up, did the same thing with Chase Elliott. But I think, I think the bigger thing is Corey LaJoie gets an opportunity to step into equipment that could potentially, he gets to audition, for Mr. Hendricks. He gets to audition for other people to see what his future holds. And I'm just talking, right, just from as a competitor. But, with this craziness, an opportunity arises for Corey LaJoie, who is I think a phenomenal driver. He's a guy who's a competitor, and to be able to see him in equipment, he's going to drive. I believe he's going to drive Chase's car. So this is going to be a lot of fun for him. It's this opportunity for him, but then for the sport, for his fans, they get a chance to see him, do some big things as well.
Blaney gets a win, again, breaking a 59-race drought at the Coca-Cola 600 on Monday, postponed due to weather. William Byron finishes second, followed by Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace, and Tyler Reddick in the
Another
top
five for the 23.
Yep.
Just checking them off at this point.
3, 4, and 5, all Toyotas, for what that's worth.
Toyota's owning right now.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, Chastain tops the driver standings heading
Despite
into this
wrecking.
weekend. Blaney 2, Byron 3, Kevin Harvick 4, and Truex Jr. 5. So, and Trackhouse Racing is the owner leader. Chevrolet is the manufacturer leader.
We're big Trackhouse fans here.
Yeah, who was it that we had on? Ty?
Yeah, Ty Norris.
Yeah. So yeah, we're big Trackhouse fans.
That's big, man. They're doing big things.
They are. We like keeping up with them. We just hope that Chastain can kind of keep his nose clean from one week to the next. And any week that, we're not really talking about him, it's probably a good week.
This is the first time we haven't talked about.
Of course, he wasn't in the top 5 either.
Because he wrecked.
Yeah.
Where did he finish?
I'm not sure. It was obviously back in the pack.
22nd.
Yeah. Not the only drama, though, with Chase Elliott. Eric Almirola shoves Bubba during I guess it was a red flag. And what was that about? Did you ever hear anything or see anything about that?
So I actually caught that late, Chris, and we were moving around doing different things, and I was stuck cooking food because we did everything on Monday. Yeah, man, I got a chance to see the video, and I'm one for, I love the fact that we get a chance to be able to see these drivers' skill set and be able to see their frustrations firsthand, right? And I tell a lot of people, especially after the competition, you're going to see frustration. If you stick a mic in my face right after I just played a football game, you're going to hear some things that you didn't want to hear, or you're going to potentially see some things. If I'm right next to my competitor, you're going to see some things that you probably didn't want to see. So in this situation, it was said that Eric was him and Bubba was having a discussion, and Bubba had cursed at him. And so, I went back and forth on Twitter, with this whole, situation. And for me, as I've been watching it in 3 years, Eric Almirola I'm a fan of his just because the dude is just so chill. I'm a fan of all the drivers, right? But Eric Almirola is just chill. And what this reminded me of, and I'm pretty sure you guys remember this as I talk about it, but when I was with the Houston Texans, we played the Tennessee Titans in Houston, and Andre Johnson, who is probably one of the coolest, calmest dudes you'll ever meet in your life, was poked by Cortland Finnegan. And Andre came out swinging. And I think, something happened. Something was said. And I was telling people that on Twitter, if I'm talking to you as a man and we're having a discussion, we're trying to figure out what took place on the track. You got in my way, I got in your way. I don't care what happened. But when you curse at me, that's disrespectful. I don't care. Like, when you directly curse at me and call me out my name, this is what was said. I don't know 100%, right? But if that was done, Eric had every right to be pissed off. I would have been pissed off. And I laugh at it because I'm like, okay, Bubba's short. Eric towered over him. And Eric shows some frustration that he never really shows. And that would have been a good one. Obviously we saw Ross, him and Noah get into a match, and I don't know whose uncle that is that keep breaking up all the fights. I thought it was two different dudes, but this dude, hey, he smelled some tension. He smelled a fight happening miles and miles away, and he stepped in once again and broke up another altercation. But for the most part, I love to see that competition. I love to see that fire because, once again, like I said, I can press the reset button, on my rig. These racers can't press the reset button. Their cars are done. Their cars are toast. Their team got to pay for another car, whatever it may be, and their lives are at stake. When these things happen, they're professionals. They know how to drive in the 3 wide. They know how to drive and keep a line. They know how to do it. Some guys, may not know how, but for the most part, it angers them when that stuff happens. And I completely understand the frustration. And look, I wanted to see Eric get down because, for a calm dude like that to get pissed off and push Bubba, hey, I was ready to see a fight.
And those calm guys are the ones you got to look out for, right, Bernard?
Exactly, Mo. You better watch out for them suckers because, hey, them jokers, they been had a knife or something and stabbed the piss out of you. You like, yo, what in the world happened?
At what point did we get to this?
Yeah, how did we get here? Yeah, what's up? What are your thoughts going into St. Louis this weekend, Bernard? Who are you looking out for?
Man, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Look, this is, for me, every race is fun. I'm glued to the TV. Obviously, when my kids got sports, I hate the fact that I can't, and I don't know how to do all the tech stuff and watching on the phone. My wife, she'll turn the cable or whatever on, and I'll be able to watch some stuff on my phone or whatever. But I'm looking for a good race, man. I want my boy Alex Bowman to get in. He had to get his feet wet, coming back off of injury and getting back in the car. This is going to be, these drivers are not playing. And I don't want to say they're still getting used to the car, right? Like, obviously, I don't know that much when it comes to the cars and at the tracks and things like that. I'm finding out all of this stuff on iRacing when I step in and I get a chance to ride, and I'm like, okay, this didn't feel right, whatever it may be. And then I hear the analysts talk about, yeah, these cars still getting used to the track. It's hard to, for short tracks, this, that, whatever it may be. So I'm just looking for a good race. I want Alex, to bounce back and to go. It's always fun. I do got to say, I want to see, Kevin Harvick is when I first started racing, he's a guy who was older, a veteran, a guy that they call, this dude right here is a guy that I have just been really just rooting for. He's a guy who was dominant when I started watching 3 years ago. And I want to see him win some races. I want to see him get back to, before he go out, I want to see him get back to, what he was doing, a few years ago. And so I'm pulling for Kevin Harvick. I'm really pulling for him, but I'm not going to be surprised if Kyle Larson step up out of here, him or William Byron come out and do some damage, because these boys, they can go.
I tell you what, if you pick Kyle Larson every week, you're probably going to come out ahead. So that's probably a safe pick.
Yeah.
Bernard Pollard joining us here on the Real Property Solutions Hotline, talking a little NASCAR. Chris?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too. I think you're right that William Byron is kind of the guy to look out for this weekend, just because he's been so good all year long. I don't know why he wouldn't be good this weekend. But St. Louis is one of those tracks where we've kind of had really good racing with this new car. So it will be a good race. It'll be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to talking to Bernard again at some point, whenever we need a backup.
Hey, Chris. Hey, bro, I'm going to gut punch you, bro. Oh, it's going to be so. And I'm going to do it when you're talking in mid-conversation with somebody else. I'm just going to come out aside to punch you right in the gut, bro.
Bernard Pollard, he's nobody's backup, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Bernard, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
That is the Real Property Solutions Hotline. Real Property Solutions will buy your house as is. Just give them a call at 615-527-8750, and they will buy your house.
And
no questions asked.
And
man.
they won't be a backup.
No, they shouldn't be your backup.
They will be your first string.
They should be your first call. Matter of fact, if you're looking to sell your house, because you can take what you want, leave what you don't. You don't even have to worry about cleaning. Again, 615-527-8750 is the number to call. Real Property Solutions. We'll take a break, talk a little baseball. All-star voting is open now. So there's that.
This is just the right time for that.
Perfect timing. Thank you, Major League Baseball.
Mm.
We'll be right back after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint to the Lee Company studio.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Vroom, vroom. Time for the Rackley Roofing 200, and it is going to be June 23rd out at the Nashville Super Speedway. And we partnered up, all of us here at Main Street Media TV, and we have joined with Rackley Roofing to send you. Yep, what you got to do to win, all you got to do is go to your favorite Main Street Media website, look for the Enter to Win banner, click there, and you're in. Like Flynn. Isn't that cool? Main Street Media TV and Rackley Roofing sending you to the races.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
There is nothing better than drinking an ice-cold beverage while taking in a Nashville Sounds baseball game. Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller with Mornings on Main Street. The Nashville Sounds and Main Street Media Television have teamed up to promote Sunday Family Fun Day here at First Horizon Park, each Sunday home game. Just go to your favorite Main Street Media website and click on Sounds Main Street Media Day banner to register to win free tickets. And then we'll see you here at the ballpark.
May 31st, 1976, Ted Turner picked up the tab for the next game for nearly 3,000 Braves fans after a Marty Perez error set up a 6-run 8th-inning rally in a 10-7 loss to the visiting Padres. Following the defeat, Turner, who was, of course, the owner of the team, so he could do this, invited the 2,994 fans in attendance to return for the following night's game as his guests. That was this day in Braves history.
What time does the game start?
What time can you be here? Yeah. I don't think Ted Turner would be very pleased with the last 18 innings that this Braves team has played either. But
Ted would have been in the clubhouse last night. Water coolers thrown.
32-23 and all. I mean, and again, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. This is the Braves fan base is a college football fan base. And so
but
it's
the A's.
Well, it's the A's, and the way it went down in the ninth. I mean, Iglesias walking the bags full and Riley booting a 2-hopper to let the winning run score.
Brutal.
It was rough. Last night was rough.
Listen,
I mean, Monday night, was explainable. Last night, not so much. And again, they lost 2-1. I don't know where the offense has gone.
7 of 9 innings yesterday, we sent the minimum to the plate.
Yeah, because Ronald got picked off that one time.
7 of 9 innings.
Against the A's.
Against I mean, look, it's a little ridiculous.
Now, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. They drive Mercedes too. And I'm sure that, 10 and 45 starts to weigh on you after a little bit. Maybe they smell blood in the water. I don't know.
This is peak Braves, though. And I said it yesterday. It's peak Braves. It is what it is. Here's my question, and I put it in the tweet. Is being a closer for Atlanta just a hard job?
You wouldn't think.
I mean, is this the curse of Craig Kimbrell standing in the bullpen?
Until you do right by me.
I mean, we got him as 400 save. You'd think that broke it. But seriously, I mean, it's AJ Minter. He wasn't a very good closer for Atlanta. Great in the setup role for many years. Will Smith, great everywhere.
Except here?
Except in Atlanta.
Well, other than the postseason.
Raciel Iglesias was
first time he's given up multiple walks in an inning in forever.
I mean, this is a guy who last year had a sub-1 ERA in the 8th inning. Yep. And it's not like he can't pitch in high leverage. That's all he's ever done.
Right.
So what is it about pitching in the closing role for the Atlanta Braves that's so difficult?
Here's the thing, though. I don't know that Raciel Iglesias is having a tough time closing for Atlanta. I think Raciel Iglesias had a tough time last night.
I can understand that, sure.
And when you're the closer, and I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. When you're the closer, everything is magnified.
Everything.
I mean, you're supposed to go out there and be nails every night.
That's literally in the job description. I mean,
and nobody is.
Right. But it's the A's. We keep going. It's the A's.
Yeah, it's certainly a bad time to not be nails.
And here's the thing, Atlanta was 17-7 coming into this series on the road, and had been fantastic on the road. And I mean, the road wins had been keeping this team afloat. And to drop 2 to Oakland just doesn't make any sense. I told you on, I guess was it Monday? On Monday, the Braves' expected batting average was over 300. The A's was under 150. Yesterday, 348 for the Braves and 196 for Oakland. Just a lot of unlucky things happening to Atlanta right now. And that's just that. It's baseball.
It is baseball. And sometimes you're unlucky.
And baseball don't give a darn about who you're playing or who you are.
It really doesn't. Yeah. So
you can make fun of talking about the baseball gods or whatever. I'm telling you, baseball is the ultimate law of averages game.
Yeah. And when you're successful 3 out of 10 times,
you're great.
At the plate, anyway, you're great. Now, I mean, when you're successful 3 out of 10 times in the closer role, you're not going to be the closer for very long.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's baseball is a game of failure.
It is.
So,
and it's how you handle the failure. Do I think that Brian Snitker needs to have another closed door meeting? No. But do I think
no, because Brian Snitker is part of the problem.
But do I think that this team needs to at least have a conversation within itself about why they need to be better.
Do they need to have a conversation with themselves, or do they just really need to have a short memory and get refocused?
Well, and that's a possibility. I mean, you can have it, like, maybe that's what the conversation needs to be. Guys, quit worrying about it.
Yeah, you can't wear this.
Yeah.
So
can't wear the Quickcrete patch either. Apparently the Braves are 5-7 since the Quickcrete patch made its debut.
They have lost, I think they're 10-13 in their last 23 games. Now, I don't know the specific dates that Kyle Wright and Max Fried went down, but it feels like there is it feels like those two are pretty close to chronologically the same time.
And this is coming from an Orioles fan, one of our favorite Twitter handles, Die in the Gulch. Going East Coast to West and having to play in the Coliseum always sucks, no matter how good you are. They'd hang 15 if they were at home. And that's not untrue. Not only is it East Coast to West Coast, they had a weird time differential in the first
it was
game.
Sunday night and early Monday.
Yeah. And then secondly, jet lag isn't over in 24 hours, especially if you can't sleep for a little while. If you can't just
they landed at like 3:00 Pacific time, I think.
It takes a little time to get used to. But third, you're playing in front of 2,600 and some odd fans like this day in Braves history. So, I mean, the adrenaline's not there. There's no excitement. You're playing the A's. They're not very good. It's hard to get up for them. You're already tired. And there's a lot of things that go into that. And I understand it, but you still have to, by the fifth inning, you got to figure it out. By the second or third time through the lineup, you got to know that, all right, it's time. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're getting up there in the third time in the lineup and being like, all right, we got to do something. And they're putting too much pressure
and
trying to do too much. Hit the ball really hard yesterday. But, I'd rather not hit the ball hard and have it fall in for a single than hit the ball hard and it get to the right fielder.
Which seemed to happen a lot for the A's, actually.
That's the thing. Soft contact. I know you don't like that phrase, but it is what it is. Soft contact sometimes works.
Yeah.
And as a pitcher, it can be frustrating.
Very.
And then you're trying to strike folks out because they can't, if they do hit it.
Because if they hit it, it's going to be soft.
And then what?
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into that.
And it's unfortunate, it was unfortunate Monday that we didn't get the storybook result for Mike Soroka in his first start back in over 1,000 days. It was unfortunate last night that Bryce Elder, where would the Braves be without this guy? For all the talk about Fried and Strider and everybody else, where would the Braves be?
And everybody talking
Bryce
crap
Elder?
about Bryce Elder last year.
Well,
he only did it against
the Marlins and the Nats.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
he's doing it against everybody else, too.
This,
He's got a 1.92 ERA, which I don't.
by the way, is tops
In Major League Baseball?
0.02 of a point ahead of
Sonny Gray.
Smyrna legend.
Not just Smyrna, but definitely Smyrna. Yeah. But, I mean, guy gives up, what, 1 run in seven plus?
Seven and a third.
And I'm not sure I would have went and got him when he did.
Well, that's somebody else tweeted. He said he's only at 89 pitches. If you don't get to put him out there in the 8th with this bullpen, you're an idiot.
Well, anyway,
had every opportunity, just couldn't get it done. That's how it goes sometimes.
It is.
Again, online voting has begun for starters in Major League Baseball's All-Star Game set for July 11th in Seattle. You can cast up to 5 votes every 24 hours through noon Eastern on June 22nd on MLB.com.
So when we tell you vote early and often, you actually can.
No photo ID required. Just IP addresses.
Yeah.
The top 2 players in each league at each position, other than outfield, plus the top 6 outfielders in each league will be announced June 22nd. The overall vote getter in each league will start in the All-Star game for each position, of course, and bypass the second. Oh, no, the top vote getter will start. Then they go to a second round of balloting. The second round will then determine the remainder of the starters, which I guess is of the 2. So the top 2, it's a 50-50 shot. So you can't vote for just anybody after June 22nd. So you'll vote again through June 29th for a week. And you can only vote once in that 24-hour period.
Ah, okay.
So
vote early and often up to a point.
Yeah. But, you know, honestly, it's interesting to me because Atlanta could have 5 guys, maybe even 6 in the running for that last that second vote period. I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is a lock. He was a starter. He was the top vote getter last year, wasn't he?
I believe.
And he
so.
wasn't even. He wasn't half as good as he was.
Yeah,
as
he was.
this
He
year.
wasn't.
Ronald.
He was an MVP candidate.
Right. So
Ronald Acuna. Yeah.
If he won the votes last year, he's certainly probably going to win them this year.
You would think.
I think Sean Murphy has an opportunity. I think Ozzie Albies certainly would be in the conversation. Of course, Jeff McNeil and a couple other guys will have something to say about that. But Orlando Arcia has got to be in the conversation. I think Dansby's going to end up starting. But
think?
I mean, batting statistically, he's got better numbers in certain areas, mainly because he's played 15 more games ish. But Orlando's I think he's 5th right now among, when you do certain metrics. Now, batting average, he's right up there with it at the top. But I think Arcia has an opportunity to be at least close. I think Matt Olson's going to be an option, though it'll probably end up being Goldie or Freddie. So that means Braves fans need to get Olson into that bottom 2 or into the top 2 so that one of those 2 gets knocked out. That'd be great.
Right.
But then of course I think Bryce Elder's got to be an option. You got it. I mean, I don't know how you don't.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know that you vote on pitchers.
Do they not? You don't vote at all for?
I don't think so. I'm not
There's
sure.
got to be a starting pitcher.
I don't know that you vote on them though.
I don't know. I thought you did.
Maybe it's been a while since I
But
voted.
I've not voted for an all-star game in a while. But I did want to mention this before we get out of here because we're still awaiting MAREN Angus. But I saw this yesterday, and I wanted because we've talked about the Kirby Yates experience. And
not glowingly, by the way.
Well, and here's the thing. In his last, I guess I didn't like it like I thought I did. In his last 15 outings, his numbers are actually pretty good. I mean, I wish I could. I wish I had them right in front of me because I really wanted to put this out there. But seriously, they are.
You got to start screenshotting stuff.
They're high level in his last 15, like 2.4 ERA, twice as many strikeouts as walks. And when I saw it, I thought that can't be right. His whip is under 1. And I'm like, okay, maybe the Kirby Yates experience is here. Maybe it's found a corner.
The light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not a train.
It's not a train. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So,
we'll see.
There you go. All right. Let's take a quick break. Women's College World Series. Talking with MAREN Angus Combs right after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio in just a moment. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Attention Tennessee homeowners, we want to buy your house. Hi, we are Real Property Solutions, a local real estate investing group. We pay cash for all types of property, so you walk away with more money in your pocket because we eliminate any fees, closing costs, and commissions. Now the best part, we can buy your house as is, meaning you don't have to do a thing to your property. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't, and don't even worry about cleaning. We close on your timeline, whether that's 7 days or 70 days. Interested in selling? Just give us a call and we'll come out to your property and quote you a cash offer within 24 hours. Please call 615-527-8750. That's 615-527-8750.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here with you on this fine Wednesday with the weirdest and wildest news from across the world still to come on Wild and Wacky Wednesday. But first, we go to the Real Property Solutions hotline because tomorrow morning we will have, there you go. It was a baby last week. It's a dog this week. We got MAREN Angus Combs as the Women's College World Series set to
We always have a guest with MAREN.
There's always a second guest, and that's okay.
It's okay.
I like to keep things exciting.
Well, mission accomplished.
This
MAREN
is
Angus
Ribby.
Coombs joining us. So I take it you're not going to OKC.
I'm not. I'm enjoying the forest of my backyard right now, and obviously enjoying the kisses from my dog, and repping the Nashville Predators today after what a week that's been.
We not gotten as much into that as we probably need to with the coaching change, but we're excited about that. But as Chris was saying, 11 o'clock Central Time tomorrow, the All SEC matchup. It's kind of convenient how they did that, by the way.
Isn't it?
Awfully.
Isn't it? It's very convenient, isn't it?
It is. Isn't it ironic, don't you think? Yeah.
Yeah, it's I tell you, I wasn't expecting it. I don't think a lot of people were expecting Tennessee, Alabama, to get things going, especially after Montana Fouts went down at the end of the season the way she did. I don't think a lot of people thought Alabama would get through regionals without her, and they did. And I don't barely. I know, barely, but I also don't think people thought they would only need her to throw minimal innings in the super regional either.
Well, and I think kind of what gets lost in Alabama's postseason success, both in the regional and in the super, again, Jayla Torrance is a dog.
Yes.
People may not have thought, and this, I mean, no disrespect to Middle Tennessee State in this, but Alabama's road here was not exactly bumpy.
Well, that's because they never had to face the number 2 seed.
Well, they never faced the number 2 because MTSU put them out. But Northwestern comes from, and sorry, MAREN, but the Big Ten, not a great softball conference this year. So they're super.
But they did have to go to game 3, right? Northwestern won the opener.
They did. They did. Absolutely, they did.
But their supers wasn't. I mean, if it had been anybody else, Clemson, or if Bama had been seeded properly, they would have been on the road.
Honestly, if Bama would have been seeded properly, that super regional would have been played at Northwestern.
Right. It should have been the opposite.
It should have been at Northwestern from the beginning. However, I have a theory. I know everyone has their theories.
It's probably the right theory.
You saw it. I know you did.
Come on with it. I didn't.
But for those who didn't, if you take these two teams and flip them the way that they probably should have been, Sharon J. Drysdale Stadium in Evanston only holds maybe 1,000 people. The Rhodes House in Tuscaloosa, with the berm, with everything, holds upwards of 6. So the biggest difference in all of this is ticket sales and money.
And if you don't think that mattered to the NCAA, I've got some land to sell you.
Right? Like, money makes the world go round. The NCAA, money, it's all about money, right? Like, so if you're looking at these two teams and you say, hey, you know what? I really think this is the matchup we want, but I think we're going to make a lot more money if Alabama hosts. Then I think Alabama's going to host. My dog agrees.
Your dog agrees.
You're 100% right.
And so is your dog.
I mean, and that's kind of where we're at this point. It's Alabama, if they have any excuse whatsoever to host an NCAA event, they're going to, because the fact is that the fan support warrants it.
Right.
It just is. It is what it is.
Not to mention, you really want Montana Fouts' career ending on the road?
I'm not going to go too far into that because I completely agree. But yeah.
I mean, there's too many things that said to me that it was set up a certain way for a certain
Montana Fouts' career almost ended without her getting into the circle.
Almost.
So,
I mean, and at that point, if that does happen, then
it's middle and Northwestern.
At Northwestern. Anyway,
that would be a disaster for the NCAA, right?
Yeah, they're punching air. If
I'm sorry to your producer as I walk in and out of the house, but my dog is like not cooperating. Just like, at least my kid slept through the last one. So, like, but puppy life must be rough.
So aside from maybe Alabama, listen to you. Aside from Alabama, maybe should be here, maybe not. Obviously, these two have some familiarity with each other. What are you expecting to see? And again, we've talked about Montana Fouts, we've talked about Jayla Torrance, but, Ashley Rogers and Peyton. Is it Gottschalk?
Gottschall. Yep.
That's not a bad 1-2 for you in the circle either. I mean, what are your expectations out of this lid lifter in the morning?
Here's the biggest difference with Alabama and Tennessee. Offense. Tennessee's offense is a freight train, and Alabama's offense it's there every now and then. It's not consistent like Tennessee. Tennessee is one of the top 2 offenses in the country, and it is going to be very difficult to outscore them, even with the way their pitching is going right now. I don't know if Montana's ready for a full 7 innings. If she is, I'll be impressed. But I know Torrance is throwing well. I just don't think she's good enough to stop Tennessee right now.
These two played the next to last weekend in March in Knoxville. Tennessee took 2 of 3, the opener and the finale, 5-1 and 7-5. Alabama won 2-4 in game. I'm sorry. I cannot believe I just did that.
Yeah.
Alabama won 4-2 in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, I mean, Tennessee put some runs up against them.
But Tennessee did win the SEC tournament matchup as well.
Did
Tennessee won 3 of 4 against Alabama.
They played in the tournament as
They
well?
did.
Yeah.
It was the game after Montana got hurt, and they put up 4 runs in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, that was in the semifinal. I guess.
Little surprising.
They won that one 7-6. So yeah, like you said, they've scored some runs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's Tennessee's identity right now, right? They have a pitching staff, and they have a hot offense. So they're not the only team that's going to stop Tennessee in their bracket is when they beat Alabama and have to play Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma City.
Correct.
Okay, but
what?
I mean, let's be honest. If there's any team in Oklahoma City that can give Oklahoma a run for their money, it's Tennessee.
Yes, I would agree with that. Although I'm going to say this because after watching the Oklahoma game Saturday,
Clemson,
right?
Brutal.
Brutal.
That was brutal. I felt so bad for Clemson.
Jeez.
I mean, had they won game 2, Oklahoma was probably going to win game 3 anyway, but still.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what Clemson did was show that you can score runs on Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
How many pitchers did OU throw? 4?
2.
Yeah, they just
3. 4. I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I think it was just 2.
No, hold on.
No, more than 2.
Nicole May started. Alex Turacco came in. Kristen Deal came in, and then Jordy finished it.
Did Jordy? Yeah, I guess she did. She came in to close it.
Okay, so 4. It took 4. Clemson put up 7 runs. Nobody has even put up, I think once they hit 5, that was the most anyone had scored against them all year.
They put up 7 unanswered or nothing.
Not unanswered. They were answered at one point, but 7 in a row.
They put up 7 straight. You know, sometimes I hate you.
They were answered though.
You know, it gave me this thought that maybe this matchup for Oklahoma in the first round against Stanford could be a little dangerous because they haven't faced Stanford. They haven't played against Nigeria Kennedy.
Well, did they not? I thought they played Stanford earlier this season. Did they not? Or did Chris
pretty
give
sure
me
they
bad
did.
information?
I'm pretty sure everybody in the first round has played. Yeah, Oklahoma 10, Stanford 1, February 10th.
And who pitched?
That doesn't count.
Oh, yeah, February. Who knows? That's a really good question as far as who pitched. But yeah, every single matchup in the first round is a rematch of a game that's been played this year already.
Yeah.
Alex Storako pitched in the first game.
And
Yeah,
who pitched
then
for
Deal,
Stanford while you're
and
looking at it?
Deal came in later. For Stanford, it was Krause, Boyd, and Chung.
Notice they didn't throw their two aces. They did not throw Kennedy, and they did not throw Vaughter.
So, I mean, there's that.
And Stanford won a super at Duke. So, I mean, it's not like they've not been in hostile environments.
No, but I mean, you got the freshman of the year in Nigeria Kennedy. I mean, throw her against Oklahoma and see what they can do.
See what happens.
Because obviously they do well against the top pitching, but they haven't faced it in Stanford yet. When they face pitchers consistently, like a Kelly Maxwell, probably a Catherine Sandercock from Florida State, like they've seen them before, right? They face Oklahoma State every year in a 3-game series. They face Texas in a 3-game series. So they're going to see those pitchers regularly. But when you have a freshman, it's a little different.
Bottom half of this bracket, Maren, and we're speaking with Maren Angus Combs here on the Real Property Solutions Hotline on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Oklahoma State and Florida State at 6 Central tomorrow. Utah and Washington follow 8:30-ish. Looks relatively wide open to me.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. I think it's wide open, and I think the Utah Utes are playing with house money. I think that nobody is expecting Utah to do much. I think if your average softball fan is probably looking at the bottom half of that bracket and thinking Utah's going to go 2 and out, I wouldn't be surprised if Utah wins the first game.
Well, again, just like we're opening tomorrow with an all-conference matchup, we're closing it with an all-conference matchup. Utah and Washington, 2 of the 3 teams from the Pac-12 in the tournament. So, again, got some familiarity between each other there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you're looking at a Washington team. I love their pitcher, Ruby Malin.
How tall is she?
Oh, 6, probably 6'1".
Is that all?
6'2". She's tall.
She looks taller.
Well, I'm also 5'10", so it's hard to judge how tall somebody really is when you're also tall.
That's a good point, actually. It's a really good point. Let's see.
Like,
I'm trying to look it up.
She's not a whole lot taller than me.
6'1".
But,
Nailed it. You were right on.
Yeah.
She's imposing in that circle.
Yes.
Just from a physical standpoint.
Yes.
Omaha, Nebraska, by the way.
Oh wow.
Listen, I'm waiting for a Washington-Oklahoma matchup to see Ruby Malin throw against Jordy Ball. The 2 of them played travel ball together. They're both from Omaha, and they both took pitching lessons from the same person.
Ooh.
So how did they get out, Maren?
You want me to dive into that? I can.
Oklahoma's a lot easier to understand than maybe Washington, but
well, here's the deal in a nutshell. Jordy committed to Nebraska like in middle school. And when she realized that she might be a little bit better than Nebraska, she decommitted. She decommitted right before her junior year in high school. And that was when every coach on planet Earth was calling to recruit her. And Ruby was not recruited by Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
They just said,
Oops.
well, the last girl kind of
the last good girl decommitted from us.
She kind of screwed us. So
yeah, we're not even going to bother. Okay.
And so Ruby, I talked to Ruby about this not too long ago, actually, because the high school that Ruby went to in Omaha is in the same conference as the high school that I coach at now. So thank goodness I didn't move here a year sooner, because not only did that high school have Ruby pitching, but they also had the Camden twins from Arkansas. So that they
no
won
expectations there, huh?
No, they won a few. They were the good pasture of the early 2000s. So that was good, wasn't it?
That was good. That was good.
Most
Some of our viewers will appreciate that one. Yeah.
Most should be very proud of me for pulling that one out.
I'm impressed.
But that the whole dynamic of what Ruby and Jordy bring and what it means to just the state of Nebraska and putting it on the national stage, I think would be so awesome to see. And but yeah, Ruby wasn't recruited by Nebraska, and Heather Tarr called. She went on her visit, and that was it. All it took was a visit.
There you go. All right. You're going to tell us, if not Oklahoma, who?
If not Oklahoma. If not Oklahoma, well, I cringe when I say it. But
just go ahead. It's okay.
You know what I'm going to say. You're getting excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're getting excited.
Go ahead.
So,
no, you want to.
She doesn't want to.
No,
That's
she
why we're making her
doesn't
say
want
it.
to. Yeah, but yeah. Come on.
What's in the box?
It's going to come out of that top half of the bracket, huh?
What's in the box?
It's going to go home to East Tennessee.
No, we'll take that. We'll take that.
That school from the east.
Yeah, that school over there. Yeah. Maren Angus Combs with us here on the Real Property Solutions Hotline. Maren, as always, we appreciate it. Tell your dog that we appreciate it making an appearance as well.
Listen, her name is Ribby, RBI.
Ribby. That's
Ribby.
Perfect.
Steaks.
RBI.
Yes.
We like it.
We like it.
So.
Yeah, there you
Bye,
go.
Ribby.
Have a good one, Maren.
Thanks, Maren.
Real Property Solutions will buy your house as is. Just give them a call. 615-527-8750 is the number. They'll buy it as is. Don't worry about cleaning. Take what you want, leave what you don't. It's now time for the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. We have just a few minutes, so I'm going to give you my favorite. Mo,
tell me it's Florida.
No, it's Illinois.
Illinois?
Oh, yeah, this is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Southern Illinois, though, so they're rednecks. Let's be honest.
We have a coworker who's not going to appreciate that, but
well,
it is what it is.
As a whole, you're gonna find some rednecks in Southern Illinois. It just is what it is. It's essentially Northern Kentucky in parts. It just that's it. So, out of Williamson County,
Illinois. Okay.
So here's my favorite part.
You've got me.
Now you've heard of in Williamson County, Tennessee, when George Jones decided that he needed to get to the liquor store and drove his John Deere lawnmower. Mm-hmm. Well, a Southern Illinois man has been charged with theft for allegedly stealing a backhoe to drive 10 miles to an airport to catch a flight. That's right. The Carbondale man was arriving at Veterans Airport in Southern Illinois atop a backhoe, leaving it at the airport parking lot.
Extended parking?
He could just roll over that. That bar comes up or not, he's leaving. I bet they don't have much parking at the Veterans Airport of Southern Illinois.
Especially for backhoes.
Make your own parking if you got a backhoe. Come on, man. So the owner of the backhoe arrived at the airport a short time later, identified the equipment as belonging to his company, and the owner of the machine said that they typically move large debris and had been parked at a job site. So that's how he got it. But there you go. That's it for today. And that's a Wild and Wacky Wednesday.
That's plenty.
Yeah. Y'all have a good one.